Oh, hello. So welcome back to the live stream. Just getting a snack. Now, a lot of people might want to have a pop at me for this, but skips and mozzarella. Mozzarella, not mozzarella. Alright. Like, I love my snacks. Alright. Like, not gonna lie about it. We do like cheese. So I hope everyone's going to have a lovely day today. Alright, now this video is actually now, alright, for a person called J Margera. I know he's subscribed to my channel. I know he's trying to keep tabs on me. So J Margera, I have something to say to you. Okay, because one, I'm not a child predator supporter. Okay, Brian Absher has been taken off the internet. Half of the people that you have mentioned in a comment on your channel, I do not even know. Right, so you might want to get your facts right for a start. Okay, because you're nothing more than someone who thinks, oh, I can slate this person, I can slate that person, and I can get away with it. Well, no, you can't. And you say that you're not afraid of death. Yet, I bet you that if you were being chased down by 100 black men or 100 white men with machetes, shotguns, and torches, that you would shit yourself. I mean, there is no doubt in my mind. And you, hang on. And you know what, J Margera? Yeah, like, you say that me threatening your mates was a bad choice. Yet, you threatened Larry, and did you apologise for shit? No. So you got no room to talk. At the end of the day, I feel like you, J Margera, are, and it's just my personal opinion on you need to go back to school. Because some of the shit you come out with is just pure bollocks. Because you lie, you threaten, you think it's okay to make up lies about people. Yeah. You're not on. Not on. A lot of people out there would call you out on your bullshit. Because, let's face it, alright, Jay, you are the biggest shithead that I've ever known. I don't like you. I don't need to like you. I don't need you to like me. What I do need you to do is stop talking shit. Welcome. Welcome. So, obviously I didn't want to do a food review. I did actually just want to talk about the idiot, but we're going to jump straight into this video now. So we have a couple of products, one from England and a couple from America. Okay, the English product we have today is Skips. Right, now Skips have been a childhood snack of mine for many a year. Okay, you know, when I was going to school, I would purposely ask my dad for a couple of quid so I could get some of these. Absolutely brilliant, they really are. Lovely flavour. But if you've ever had these, they just melt away in your mouth. No need to bite or anything. Like literally just melt. Okay, there's a reason they're called skips, right? And that's because the flavour is just so immense. Thank you very much. Yeah, best ones, honestly, absolutely best. All right, the second product, which is a set of two that we have, is Laffy Taffy. All right, now a lot of you out there might say, oh, well, you barely got any teeth, how are you meant to eat that? Laffy Taffy is actually quite soft. Hello, Junebug. So people, there is a moderator here, right? So please watch your language. All right, I believe Junebug is a managing moderator. All right, so he has the right to block you. Okay, so please watch your language. So today's review on the Laffy Taffy is the blue raspberry and the banana one. Okay, now they do put jokes on the wrappers. There is 2 jokes on each wrapper. I believe they're printed on in batch, or yeah. So on both of these, they have the same joke. All right, and the first joke is, how did the banana mobile escape? It peeled out. And the second one is, how do camels blend in? Camouflage. I think these jokes are stupid, personally, but I have tried the banana one already. I don't think I've tried the blue raspberry one on camera yet. But we will try both of those today. Okay. Welcome, Junebug. Junebug, I have a question for you, all right? So yesterday we had a guy on my live stream, Joseph from 505 Entertainment. What's your opinion on that person? So while Junebug is actually doing his comment, we have just opened our skips, and as you can tell, really looking good. They do look exactly the same, maybe not exactly the same size, we're going to find out today. So, roughly around about the same size in the packet as they are in real life. Alright, if you were to put this, say like so, up against that, like you can tell that that is just almost the same, but really you don't even need to bite into these. They are actually really nice. Okay, this is actually my snack for the day. Obviously you've just seen me eating cheese, which is mozzarella. Alright, but skips, absolutely brilliant. Honestly, always been a favourite. Like you bite them once, they just melt away in the mouth. Like, one. One and done. Gone. Finished. Over and dusted. It is very bright outside, as you can tell. I was trying to block the light glare from the window, but I don't think we're going to be able to help that. But I just wanted to show you that these skips are just completely coated in flavour. They are prawn cocktail, alright, which is the classic flavour for skips. I have come across a Pacific flavour of skips called sour cream and chive, and they weren't that good. They didn't work. I have had cheese and onion skips. They were okay. Again, not brilliant, but they worked. But prawn cocktail is the ultimate flavour. Honestly, it really is. Melts away in the mouth, no problems, no issues. Absolutely gorgeous. Really intense. Really stirs some memories in my mind. Honestly. Just eating these brings back some memories of when I was a kid. And to be honest with you, some of those memories ain't good. But moving forward, we have our two Laffy Taffy bars, which we're going to save until people turn up. So I'm going to sit here at the moment and I'm going to eat some more skips. Because I like them. I don't care if you don't like them, I like them. So, I wanted to try these two Laffy Taffy bars on camera. As you can see, this is the Laffy Taffy Blue Raspberry. Okay, and this is the Laffy Taffy Banana. I'm very interested to find out what they taste like together. So, obviously, I have tried the banana one before, but we are going to try it again for you lot. Totally agree with you, Junebug. Totally agree with you, bro. Absolutely yummy. We may have to use a knife to open this. But as you can see, each Laffy Taffy bar has a colour. So let me put this down for a sec. And let me show you this one. So this is something we don't get in England. Okay, so most of our sweets, okay, are very different. So obviously this being blue raspberry is blue. And this is a bit concerning, right, for American health. Because yes, your brain might say, oh, it's blue, so it must taste like blue raspberry. This is yellow, so it must taste like yellow. It must taste like orange or banana. No, sorry, not orange. It must taste like banana or lemon. But banana flavor is there, definitely. All right, really nice flavor actually. Now I'm gonna try this one. Interesting flavor. The dye from the blue raspberry is actually coming off of my thumb. And my fingers are getting very sticky here. Now we've just sandwiched these together. I'm going to try them both at the same time. As you can see, there's some blue dye on my hand. Now, interesting. So I would honestly say that these two flavors together, they do work, definitely. But I think if you are going to have these in the same bite, you are going to want to be very mindful, because it's not going to be a flavor you expect. It's going to be a flavor that you probably might dislike somewhat, but completely soft. Amazing flavours, really are. And looking at the wrapper, 90 calories per stick. 90 calories, yeah. Each rope is 1 serving, is 23 grams. Okay, it does. States on the packet, 90 calories, okay. So it says here, 1 gram, total fat 1 gram, 1% DV, which I don't know what it is. We have salt, so DV is like a salt, okay, welcome Grace. I'm sorry, I don't know that. So fat 1 gram, 4% DV, sodium 35 milligram, 2% DV, total carbs 19 gram, 7% DV, total sugars 13 grams, including 13 gram added sugar, 26% DV. There is no protein in these 2 bars, okay, not 1 shred. So these are just full of sugar and fat, and if I'm being honest, quite addictive. Like, I might come off of cigarettes just to jump to these, because the flavour of the banana one is just amazing. It really is. And I would honestly say that if America stopped putting so much glue on things, their food might actually be a lot better. So we are actually trying to avoid the glue on this. So, as I've told you before, you can tell that this is a yellow colour. The blue raspberry one is obviously blue, you can tell by the packet. Okay, but the good thing about these is they stretch, they bend. Hands down, one of the best American snacks I've ever tried. Well, sorry, sweets. Definitely one of the best. Laffy Taffy is, oh, it's up there. It's up there. I will also say that I like Airheads too. But obviously the Airhead flat strips. The watermelon one is great. I barely have any teeth left. And I can eat these no problem. Hence the reason for the skips as well. But I've noticed banana Laffy Taffy doesn't dye your hands. Alright? But it does make your hands very, very sticky. Now, if we're talking about the blue raspberry one, which we will be very soon, if I can get it out of the freaking packaging, they are quite sticky, these things, I will say. As you can tell, the Laffy Taffy blue raspberry is a very nice blue colour. It also likes to dye your skin if you hold it for too long. It really does. Already I can start to see blue fragments on my hands. But already I'm seeing a lot of dark patches on my skin. probably from the blue dye that's in this. So you're putting dye which isn't meant to go into your body into a sweet, and I think that's horrible for a start. There are many natural products out there which you could use to turn this blue, but the banana Laffy Taffy didn't have many holes, whereas this one does. So that, I would presume, is from the food colouring. And I am already starting to see like blue, as you can probably see from different lights. There are blue fragments coming onto my skin already. My thumb here is starting to turn a different shade. So I would say that this sweet could be quite damaging to your health just because of the food colouring. There they are. See? See that line of blue there? Very unusual to get a sweet that dyes your skin. But really, really nice flavour. A little bit on the sour side. There you are, you see, blue. But I would say that if you are going to eat something like this, please make sure that you are not allergic to food colourings, alright? Because I think this has got a lot of food colouring in it, because it is turning my skin different colours. There they are. Blue tongue too. But really nice flavour. But it turns you into looking like a lizard, so there's good and bad there. Now, I want to speak about smoking, alright? Obviously, you've all seen the skips. These are the skips, just so nobody moans at me for not showing my snacks. Yes, I'm eating skips after having something blue. Hopefully to take the blue tinge off my tongue. But I just turned that blue. See the blue on there now? That's how powerful that food colouring is. So that's just a rub on my tongue. The good thing about the skips is they absorb anything they come into contact with that is liquid. And that food colouring is just rubbed off on there. But I would say that Laffy Taffy does bring people joy, especially over here. It's a snack that is really nice flavours. I don't like the cherry one, and I don't like the green apple one, because the sour green apple has no taste to it. And now I'm resorting to using skips to rub onto my tongue to rub this blue dye off. Well, 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 look who's here. Hello, Dark Wizard. You and me need to have a chat on Insta, alright? Today, I need to talk to you, alright? So, after my stream, give me a call on Insta, we'll have a chat, okay? And we'll discuss a few things, alright? So, I want to talk about a couple of different subjects today. One of which is you Americans that believe that weapons are a good idea. So, I'm going to go into this properly. So, the very first knife I ever showed on my YouTube channel, okay, is this Whitney lock knife. It is a inline lock, okay, as you can probably tell. That bar there moves, which means that it's a centerline lock. Right, I like to call it an inline lock. Most people might want to get on my case for that, right? But it is a centerline / inline lock, right? So the blade will not move until you push that bar in and then bring it down. Obviously, this blade has been used recently for cutting up some food, all right? So, yeah, really nice knife. But you Americans out there think that this gives you the right to defend yourself. Guess what? No, it does not. So, by carrying a knife around, okay, you are potentially arming yourself for an issue. Now, I would say that this knife is very combat-like, but it's also very outdoors-like. You know, the blade is definitely sitting more straight than forward, right? Whereas with a fixed blade, as you can tell by my chef's knife, the blade does sit forward slightly, okay? It's not like that. You know, the handle on this is very ergonomic, whereas this is just made for your kitchen, and I am starting to get sugary mitts all over my fucking knife, which I don't want to do. Obviously I have another fixed blade here. Alright, we're going to take it out gently so you can see, but as you can see, blade sits forward slightly. Alright, as do most fixed blade knives. But this one, this I would say is more for a combat use. Alright, I wouldn't want to bring it into combat. However, this knife has been into combat a couple of times now, and I do feel like this knife should retire because it's gone through a lot. It really has. It's gone through a lot of different things with me, and I think it's time to hang this one up. So this knife has been battered and bruised. It has been scraped and scratched, dropped on different angles. I think the only thing that's ever remained intact about this blade are two things: the clip and this little wrist loop here. Alright, the rest of it has been scratched up, knocked and banged and whatnot a few times, obviously. Yeah, so don't, please, whatever, okay, do not carry a blade on the streets. Like, if you get stabbed by one of these, there is no doubt in my mind that you are going to have a very bad day. You are going to be in a lot of pain. A lot of pain. So this blade is more for like in a combat situation, that blade is sitting up. So when you come in, yeah, look at that angle already, and I'm leaning forward. And I'm trying to keep my arm as straight as possible, okay? But look at the angle of that blade already. It is up, yeah? And that blade is straight in my hand. So it is blade is very upwards, do you know what I mean? Whereas it is not down, okay? So I would say that you don't want to get hurt by one of these. You really don't. It is also a blunt knife. Okay, as we all know, blunt knives hurt more. That is not the reason why this knife is blunt, by the way. Well, thank you very much, Duck Productions. much appreciated. So we do various different content across the board here, alright, and some of that content is different. We are going to do another video showing how lethal these items are in a live stream, which will be my next live stream, which I need to gather together some props for it. Now, there is a reason why I ended up putting this blade with this sheath on the plastic sleeve with a bit of masking tape around it with my kitchen knife, because I feel like in a home invasion or out in the wilderness, you need something that you can just hold on to, something that's not going to fall out, that you let go slightly, that's it. Alright, so I like to carry my blades like this if I'm camping. Obviously the chef's knife is great for hacking wood, it really is. We have taken a small blemish, it's making a small chunk out of our blade a couple of times. Up here, for example, the tip of the nail, and then a little bit further down to here. It has taken a couple of hard whacks, so obviously in blades you don't want to see the grain. Like with this knife here, you can't see the grain, okay, it's not possible to see it, right, it's going to be completely hardened. This, however, I don't know whether you can see that, but as you can tell the grain is there. Alright, you can see the grain. Very nice knife, actually. Very heavy. Very forward heavy, I'd have to admit. This one is actually a very decent knife. It's from AliExpress. Alright, if you want to get that, please go check out their site. Alright, brilliant site. You get a lot of products. Very, very cheap. Sorry. Full tang all the way through with an extra added pin to keep it all in place. But I would rather have these two in the camping situation, because one for defense, two for just general work. Obviously you've got your blade. If this had a better handle, it would do much better. Alright, but as regards for the Chef Aid kitchen knife, okay, it is an absolute beast of a knife to work with. I just wish, as a budget knife, it's done well so far. It is fairly new, okay, but that handle, a couple of really hard smacks on that, and that's just going to break. It's just a hollow handle, pinned, and I don't trust that. It does look like it is metal pins. I believe they're very soft. I've just managed to do that, and that's just scratched one of those pins, so they are very soft pins, so I could take this apart, make a wooden handle and glue that on. Alright, but obviously you can tell this knife has been made correctly because you can see the pins. There are 3 pins holding this handle in, as you can tell. Alright, which makes it very, very beautiful knife to work with. But this one, like I've said before, you do not want to get caught with that. Right? That is just sitting upwards, and I don't like that. So my arm is perfectly straight, as you can tell. So is my wrist, my hand. Look at the way that blade just sits up, and I can feel a little bit of play there, and I have tightened these bolts up So now it does not flick the way it should. I can't flick it open. Not properly with one thumb. You do have to kind of bring it to that level, and even then it won't flick. Bring it to that though, it will. So I have tightened up for a security reason. Right, not everyone can open one of these knives. So before I actually started to learn about different knife methods and everything else, okay, I used to open these up in this way. Now I realize you can do that. That's why these thumb stops are here. But all in all, very dangerous. I might get an angle grinder and grind some teeth into the top. I would like to turn this serrated for cutting fruit and vegetables. However, I don't know how well that's going to go, so I'll have to see. I am going to end this live stream now, alright, because I need to speak to someone in particular. Dark Wizard, get in touch with me on Instagram in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go to Instagram. Thank you very much, people, for watching. And always, have a nice day. And please remember, if you feel like something is going wrong in your life, remember there are people out there that are going through something much worse than you. I wish you all a very lovely day. Take care. Peace!